gold and silver are severely undervalued because of what's happening in the monetary system. So they're severely undervalued because simply a rise in gold price is an indication of a failing currency. And once you get that the fiat currency, the dollar, the euro, the yen, any of them are failing, then you make different choices because you understand that they are going away in terms of value. So frankly, no, I cannot see any set of circumstances where gold and silver don't go much, much higher, because that is how the reset is actually performed. Those overnight resets is paper fiat with no intrinsic value against gold and silver, which are, well, it's really gold is how they reset it, but silver is a secondary monetary metal. So that's what they do. They have to revalue something that has no intrinsic value against something that is all intrinsic value and has been for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. So no, I do not see any circumstances where gold and silver don't go much, much higher in terms of the fiat, but the real job is to hold your wealth intact. And because they're so severely undervalued, hence that cup formation, so severely undervalued, then, you know, really you can get some good growth in there as well. But the primary function of gold is like an insurance policy. Gold and silver are universally accepted and used across the entire, every single area of the global economy. I think it is important for every single person, not just Canadians, but, you know, for Chinese and for Europeans and Americans, and every single person on the planet really needs to become their own central bank and make sure that they can hold their value, their purchasing power value intact. So, yeah, everybody needs to own it, especially, you know, the Canadian government. They don't have any gold. And whoever holds the gold, as we go through and finish going through this currency life cycle, the end of its life cycle, well, guess what? They're not going to have as high a sway in the global economy as those central banks and those governments that have gold behind them. That's why China and Russia and India and a lot of other central banks have been accumulating as much gold as they can get their hands on. Yeah, I think it's critical for every single person to have some physical gold that is decentralized wealth outside of the system and invisible, as the central banks and the governments are trying to get everything intangible. That is so much easier to steal. It is so much easier to see. It is so much easier for them, but it puts you in a vulnerable position. So inflation and deflation are the same coin, it's just the other side, right? And there is only one way to fight inflation, and that is with deflation, which, you know, if the central bank, if the Fed actually starts to buy less and less of the treasuries and the mortgage-backed securities, if they actually start to take that cash, that new money infusion punch bowl away, that is very deflationary. And you will see a stock market respond to it, which is why it's been so sketchy since the beginning of the year. It's up, it's down, because they're concerned about that punch bowl being taken away.